I'm gonna show you something beautiful. Everyone screaming for mercy. You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. You're all puppets. Tangled in strings.
His head in his hands, were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
Right, Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahweh Shai, and double honors unto the elders and the apostles and the prophets of GMS, and honors to all my fellow servants out there, you brothers that are doing this work in all sincerity and truth. This is the brother Rakaya Kwam, and this is gonna be, you know, I ain't done a video in a while, going into some current events, you know. I did initially make this channel specifically for current events, measuring the times, but you know, YouTube, fucked about my other channel, so I started uploading different things on here. But I'm gonna get back into these current events because a lot of things are happening, man. Okay, you know, while the rest of the world, you know, is spinning around with their eye off the ball, things are happening, you know, while you got guys debating whether they're Israelites. That day of judgment, the Lord ain't pushing that back. The time that is appointed, we get closer. It's a countdown. Okay, every day spent is another day closer to Judgment Day. Alright, so you got all these people out here doing fuckery, you know, doing all kind of madness. They're not worried about it. But guess what? The prophecies are building up. The Lord is cooking up that meal, and he's gonna serve it to them. And just like with any good meal, you don't make it in a minute. You gotta get the ingredients, prepare the ingredients, and then you gotta add the ingredients to the meal while it's cooking at specific times. And that's what the Lord's doing. This World War III is being cooked. Alright? And the time draws near when it's going to be served to the people. Alright? Now, the first article I'd like to go into is a Mail Online article, which is the Mail. The Daily Mail is a UK newspaper. Right? And basically the title reads, Battle Stations, Navy scrambles destroyer to challenge Russian warship off British coast. But it takes 24 hours to make 600-mile journey from Portsmouth base. Was Putin testing our response time? Now, that's exactly what Putin was doing. And that's what he has been doing. Okay? He's been testing the military of his enemy. Okay, before attack. Alright, because it's inevitable that the beast, which is NATO, and the whore which rideth upon the beast, which is America, and the rest of America's vassals that stay loyal to America, are gonna go head to head with the bear, aka Gog Magog, aka Russia, and their vassals, like certain of the old Soviet states, okay, and their allies, like China and Iran, okay. And guess what? You got some of America's vassals and allies are jumping ship to Russia, all right. So this is all in preparation for the final showdown. All right, and we're going to read a little bit of the article. It says, a fully armed Royal Navy warship was scrambled to challenge a missile-carrying Russian vessel in the waters of Britain just days before Christmas, defense sources revealed last night. In a calculated test of Britain's reduced naval capacity in the North Sea, the Russian warship came within 30 miles of the coast. It was detected near Scotland, but the only ship the Royal Navy had available to respond after Ministry of Defence cuts was in Portsmouth, resulting in a delay of 24 hours until it was in position. So you already know. You already know what that's all about. Okay? And it's going to go down. Okay? The beast is going to go to war with Russia. All right? It's Joel 3:9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near and let them come up. And that's why you're seeing all these different nations are doing military drills, whether it be by themselves or together with allies. Okay? Because they're preparing for that great day, for that war, for World War III. Okay? As it is written in the scriptures, Revelation 11 and 14, the second woe is past. The woe in the book of Revelations represents war, destruction. The second woe was past. It ended in 1945. The third woe cometh quickly. The third woe is the Third World War, which really has already begun. The Third World War has already begun. It just isn't at its peak. Because they're at economic warfare right now. They're doing covert warfare. Covert operations against each other. Spetsnaz and Delta Force and you know, KGB or whatever the fuck, or FSB or whatever the fuck they call themselves now. And CIA, you know, MI6, all these guys. They're out there fighting war, battling for allies and vassals, man. You know, if a government ain't with them, they got their agents in there trying to flip the government. So we're already at that point. We're already at the point where they're using proxy armies against each other. All right. Let's get Revelations 14 and 8, because we know that the book of Revelations is set in these times that we're in. The end of the book of Revelations is the end of these times that we're in. And the culmination of it is going to end with America, which is Babylon the Great, being destroyed, right? By thermonuclear missiles from their enemies and even from their allies. Could the scriptures say the beast shall hate the whore? All right, Revelations 14 and 8. Because guess what? A lot of these nations, they're going to be forced to fight on the side of America. They're going to be forced to fight on the side of America. Like Germany, like France, like right now, they really don't want to be with America right now. Okay? But guess what? They're going to have to be with America because they're in NATO. But eventually, when this thing gets to the peak and they've suffered so many losses, they're going to say, you know what, man, we're better off destroying America than being destroyed by Russia. Because Russia's right in their back door. America's all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. Who you think's going to face the brunt of World War III in terms of getting fucked up in their own lands? These European nations, because they're right next to Russia. Russia's gonna roll their tanks into Europe, and they show you that in that game, Modern Warfare. What was it? Future Warfare or whatever it is. I forgot which exact, COD it was. Call of Duty. I think it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And they show you how the Russians straight rolled up into Europe, man. Now, are they going to attack America itself? Yes. But who's right next to Russia? The Europeans, starting with them Eastern European countries, man. That's why a lot of them are getting shook. A lot of them are like, fuck it, we might as well go back to Russia, because if shit go down, they're the first ones that's going to get it. All right? It says Revelation 14:8, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city. That's talking about America, because America is going to be destroyed in this thermonuclear destruction. And all these little things you see happening is the build up to that. Because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Okay? Because she made all nations basically partake in her folly, man. America was nothing but a conduit for evil and wickedness and folly, man. And that's why it's going to be destroyed. All right? Ain't no one outside the sphere of America's fuckery. All right? The Lord is going to have America be destroyed, because America was the conduit. And you look at that word conduit, man. The word conduit means, well, I'm going to get the most express term I can get to explain it. A person or organization that acts as a channel for the transmission of something. Yeah, they were a channel for the elites to transmit nothing but 100% wickedness and folly throughout the world. And for that reason, the Lord's going to have the nations destroy America with fire. Okay? Let's get Revelation 17:1. It says, and there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And that's talking about America, and the waters represent the peoples. Okay, America is a whore. It's a bitch nation, man. The elites used America as a conduit for their new world order, man. As a spear, the tip of their spear. The elites don't give a fuck about America, man. America is a giant used up slut. It worships every god on the planet Earth, and it's there to make the super elite rich. You dumb fucking crackers in America actually thought that America was made for you. No, America was set up to make the elites rich and build their empire. And they don't even want you anymore. Verse 2 says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. Okay, because all these different nations at one point tried to get along with America, man. When really they should have all got together and destroyed America a long time ago and freed the Israelites. But they didn't do that. They fornicated with America, man. They adopted American ways so they can get along and make money. These nations should have came together and destroyed America. But you know what? It wasn't set up in the spirit like that. But now the nations are starting to wake up. It says, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Like all over the world, man. Okay? In and amongst every society, man, there's that cancer of Americanization, man. That cancer of destruction, of westernization, man. All right? Revelation 17:3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy. Yeah, because hey, man, that's what the America and NATO are all about, man. Blasphemy, blaspheming the name of the Heavenly Father, man. Having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now the beast, because the beast, NATO already represents the power structure of the so-called white man. Now the 7 heads represent the 7 different kingdoms that the so-called white man had, that were like the head of them. At one time, Rome was a head. At one time, Britain was a head. At one time, Greece was a head over all the Edomites. And then the 10 horns represent them 10 nations, man. All right? And it's the same thing today where you got NATO. NATO will start with them 10 nations, man. Right? And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, okay, representing the royal nature. Scarlet representing what? The so-called white man, the devil, Esau, Edom. And decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations, man. And all you got to do is turn the news on, man. And you know that America is I mean, come on, man. You don't even need no one to break that down, man. Full of abominations, man, and filthiness of her fornication, man. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Now, a mother is something which nourishes, right? America facilitate, nourish, and bring forth nothing but wickedness on the earth. They go around the world and they'll force a country to have gay rights. They'll nourish homosexuals in another man's country, man. A father is a creator. A mother nourishes, man. They nourish this shit, man. They increase it. They increase wickedness wherever they can find it, man. They'll send abortion ships, man. And Google it if you think I'm lying. They'll send ships over to Africa so that women who can't have abortions in their country because their country don't allow it can go onto the ship and get an abortion. The so-called white man's the fucking devil, man. Right? They got their hands, them devils in America got their hands in every fucking thing, man. Alright? And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Alright? And the angel said unto me, where didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman under the beast that carrieth her, which have the 7 heads and 10 horns. So that represents NATO, because NATO, see, America by itself is a powerful force. America by itself is a great military. But when they basically roll on top of NATO, they basically use NATO, man. The whole world is really scared of NATO, those 10 blocks of countries together, man. Because together they are a force to be reckoned with. All right. You got the French military, which these are all nuclear powers. The French, the British, the Germans, the Italians. Okay. These are all great militaries in their own right. And the so-called white man in America is riding them. They use them in every war. All right, America don't stand alone. They're riding on NATO, and they're on top of NATO, and they're controlling NATO, right? Which is why Putin made a statement, because you had them bitch ass Germans and them French. They're bitching up though. They ran over there to Russia, try and calm things down, and Putin said, "Well, why am I talking to you for? It's useless to negotiate with vassals." Because basically that's what them fucking NATO countries are. They're vassals of the American empire, man. They're vassals, man. That's why the whole rideth the beast. And eventually the Lord's going to put in the spirit of them different. They're going to get pissed off with being vassals, man. And they're going to burn America. All right? Because this world war is going to get out of hand, man. And they're going to suffer losses. They're going to suffer, man. All these nations, these NATO nations, they're going to suffer, man. And then they're going to end up blaming it all on America. But that's just the will of the Lord. All right. I want to get through one more article. Then I'm going to... let me get the Paul Craig Roberts, man. Because Paul Craig Roberts, he was bringing that out. And we're going to read some of this article, man. Give me a second, let me pull this article up. Okay. Right, there we go. Paul Craig Roberts. You know, it's an article from Paul Craig Roberts, man, in King World News. The world is now on the cusp of total war. And we're just going to read through this article, man. All right. February 9th, it says, at this time, we do not know the outcome of the meeting in Moscow between Merkel, Holland, and Putin. Well, I know, fuck all. Because, like I said, there's gonna be a war. And Putin's on his side, and they're on that side, and they're not gonna appease Putin. Putin ain't gonna back down. Putin wants them to back down. They don't want to back down. They want Putin to back down. but nobody's going to back down. It's going to go to the war. Okay? The meeting with Putin was initiated by Merkel and Holland because they are disturbed by the aggressive position that Washington has taken toward Russia and are fearful that Washington is pushing Europe into a conflict that Europe does not want. Okay, but guess what? They're going to go in the whole rise of the beast. They're going to go into that war, whether they want to or not. However, Merkel and Holland cannot resolve the NATO EU-Ukraine situation unless Merkel and Holland are willing to break with Washington's foreign policy, which they're not going to do because they're vassals of America. It's prophecy. The whore rides the beast and assert the right as sovereign states to conduct their own foreign policy. They can't do that. First of all, the elites won't let them do that. All right. This is Putin, Merkel, Holland meeting. This is unless Washington's war lust has finally driven Europeans to take control over their own fate, the most likely outcome of the Putin, Merkel, Holland meeting will be more meetings that go nowhere. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Okay, we're still on the road to that final showdown. If Merkel and Holland are not negotiating from a position of independence, one likely outcome after more meetings will be that Merkel and Holland will say, in order to appease Washington, that they tried to reason with Putin, but Putin was unreasonable. And that's what it is. Because Holland, look, man, I remember I was watching one program, and basically you had the fucking Ukrainians or one of them little nations talking shit, and it was a Russian diplomat. And he said, "Who are you? I don't know you. There's only 3 capitals in the world." He said Washington, London, and Moscow. Okay, pretty much everyone else is a vassal, man. I mean, even London have to take orders from England. Britain has to take orders from America. But in terms of financial clout, London's got that clout. Okay, France and Germany can't do shit. All right. It says here, based on Lavrov's meeting in Munich with the Europeans, the hope for any sign of intelligence and independence in Europe seems misplaced. Russian diplomacy relied on European independence. Okay, so they're trying to, you know, but that ain't gonna happen. But as Putin has acknowledged, Europe has shown no independence from Washington. Putin has said that negotiating with vassals is pointless, yet Putin continues to negotiate with vassals. You see? It's pointless, man. All right. Now, French oppose Washington. This is a part of the article. It says, perhaps Putin's patience is finally paying off. There are reports that Germany and France oppose Washington's plan to send weapons to Ukraine. French President Hollande now supports autonomy for the breakaway republics in Ukraine. His predecessor, Sarkozy, said that Crimea chose Russia and we cannot blame them, and that the interests of Americans and Europeans diverge when it comes to Russia. Germany's foreign minister says that Washington's plan to arm Ukraine is risky and reckless, and on top of it all, Cyprus has offered Russia an air base. All right. Now, guess what? They still ain't gonna do shit. Okay? And I suggest that brothers read through this article because it's a good article, man. Like I said, I'll post all these articles, man. Okay? Alright? And it's gonna go down. And guess what, man? When that World War III starts, man, the average person in Europe is gonna fucking suffer. For the reason why, because Russia provide a lot of the energy for NATO. Now, in an event of a war, Russia will cut the energy supplies and keep the energy supply for their war effort. So guess what? Over in Europe, they're gonna have to ration energy. They're gonna cut off the electricity to who they feel don't require it. They're gonna cut off a lot of the petrol. Listen, everything's gonna go on rations, man. A lot of you people are gonna suffer. This is no joke. Okay, when this shit goes down, Europe is gonna be fucking suffering, man. Maybe the fucking most. Europe and America are gonna be suffering because they're gonna be cut off from a lot of the ways they normally get shit. And the average person's gonna suffer the most because you don't have shit. You don't have supplies, and you don't have the political clout to get what you want. You're gonna have rations if you get that at all. All right. So, like I said, read that article. That's a beautiful article right there. It's got a lot of information in it, you know, and we're at that time, man. We're at that time, man. Everything is coming together beautifully. The financial crash, okay, the preparations for martial law and World War III, the proxy wars, it's all coming together beautifully, man. Okay, for that end game, which is America being destroyed. All right, and these guys are trying to make peace, but peace ain't gonna happen, man. It's what the Lord wants to happen. That's what's gonna come to pass. Let me just finish off on that, and then, Lord willing, I'll finish off the rest of the articles I have when I get a bit more time. Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So like I said, America's going to be destroyed. Russia is going to come up against America and NATO, man. And that's inevitable. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay? So with that, I'm going to say shalom, and I'll catch you in part 2.